So now we've got the top crust mostly rolled out here. Also, if you remember, I always check, kind of reference the pie pan against the actual crust, and it looks like we're pretty good there. We've got enough dough rolled out, big enough dough rolled out. Then we do the same thing that we did before. We fold it in half, and then fold it in half again. And then we put it on top of the pie itself. Then you unfold it again gently. Now this is one way that you can kind of make up for the issue that we had before. Remember, we had one side that had a little less dough. You can kind of make sure that that side gets a little more top crust. And you compensate for the fact that it had less bottom crust by giving that side a little more top crust. So see how I did that? That was the short side. But see, we have more there. Now, my mom usually cuts her top crust puts slits in her top crust before she even puts it on. I don't do that. I put the slits in after it's prettier that way, but it's also harder to unfold the dough and more likely to make it crack. And in this case, we don't really have any cracks, which is a blessing. So here's the next trick I learned from my mom, and my understanding is this is how her mom did it as well. Some people just take a fork and kind of, they join the two crusts and they take a fork and they put it all the way around. I actually like to do this pinch method that my grandmother apparently used to do. So what you do is, actually I'll work on this side here, you might be able to see it better. See how you've got the two different layers? So you've got the bottom crust and the top crust. Kind of put those together, right? And just gently, again, because the more you squeeze this thing, the more you activate the gluten, the tougher it gets. So just gently fold this and make an edge around the pie, like this. See how I'm kind of folding it under. Just do that all the way around the pie. I don't rush this step because this is really the presentation. This is really where the pie comes together and starts to look beautiful. So I take my time, and I actually enjoy this step because it's not hard. That's where you get to kind of appreciate what you're doing. So you can see, got a pretty even edge. I am feeling that there's a little pie dough needed there, and I have a lot of pie dough right here. So I'm actually going to steal a little piece and then tuck it under. Make that pie a little thicker in that place. Another trick I learned from my mom. You can kind of beg and borrow from places where there's a lot of pie dough to put it in places where there's less. Then, usually it helps to work with slightly wet hands. You go around and you put, let me actually do it on this side where you can see it. You take two fingers like this, and then you take another finger and you put it in like that. And you just keep going all the way around. And it makes this really pretty, I guess it's a scalloped edge. You might have to shift which fingers you're using just to get a better angle. Or turn the pie. Then you just go all the way around making this scalloped edge. See how it's coming together? The look of the pie is really coming together. Again, this is the fun part. Now, this is almost ready to go in the oven, but you are going to want to put slits in because you're going to want to leave room for the juice, the fruit juice. That fruit juice, you're going to want to see it when it bubbles, and if you don't have a slit in the pie, you won't see it. Also, you want to leave a place for moisture to escape. Now, I don't have a knife here with me, but if I were cutting this, I would probably put two long slits about here, two long slits about here, two short here, two short here. So you kind of have 8 total slits and a variety of sizes, which makes it pretty. I don't carry my slits probably past here or so, because once you carry them down into this area, you're more likely to have your pie drip and run over in the oven and burn and smell up the house. So this is ready to go in the oven.